welcome. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. Give me 1 second, y'all. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. So we're still in the astrology of the Old Testament, or the lost word regained. Okay? Published in 1892. The author is Carl Anderson. So y'all check that out. I put a link in the community post. So y'all download it, print it off, bind it, and then you'll have it. You'll have it, okay? So let's get started. We're gonna pick back up on page 135, all right? So I intended to bring my copy of the Zodiac Constitution and the Clock of Destinies, Volume 1 and 2, but I forgot. But what I do have, so let me show you, I'll suggest how to study this information, okay? So that you get the most out of it in the least amount of time. So I have my copy of The Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East, the Red Book. Okay. I have my certified copy of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North America, 1836. And I have many cases that I downloaded. So I got these documents off of enforcetheconstitution.org. So y'all can go there and also download and print these documents. So these are the cases that you're gonna find. So I have these. You can see. So all of the cases. So when you study this information, I suggest from my own experience that this is the best way to do it. Have these documents next to you, with you, when you study. So when you come across information, you can very quickly cross-reference, do further investigation on a topic, et cetera, whatever it is that your critical and analytical faculties of mind tell you should do, okay? So remember, we Moors are obligated to the Zodiac Constitution as well. Okay, so we should become very familiar with that, and especially lately, I've been seeing a lot of information from the Red Book in my studies. Okay, so I don't know if we'll get into these other books. But if there's an opportunity to do so, I will, because I have them here. And the Zodiac Constitution and the Clock of Destinies, Volume 1 and 2, we can just work that out for the time being without them. Hopefully next class I'll have them, I'll remember. Okay, also, what else? There's something else. I don't remember. When it comes to me, I'll share it with you. But when you go through it like this, you're going to see the synergies, you're going to see the connectivity and synergies, all right? And you'll actually see the Hermetic Laws, you'll see astrology, you'll see constitutional principles. When you not only go through the cases, not just when you go through the cases, but when you go through the astrotheology. And of course, that correlates right back to the Helios bibliothèque, okay? Etc., etc., etc. It just gives you mastery over the topic. And also remember, this is really ultimately about man know thyself. And man is nature, right? Man is nature. Okay, so I'm nature. I'm the manifestation of nature at its most fundamental level, right? Man is thought made manifest from the soil. And I was going over some, I'm not going to get into this, y'all, but I was going over, because it's going to take us away. I was going over chapter 2, the mysteries of the silent brotherhood, aka the Red Book. And chapter 2 has to do with, well, the title is Life Works of Yeshua in Joseph's home at the age of 7 years. So 7, of course, when you hear the word 7, that has to do with so much, but it took my mind to the 7 stations in the circumpolar Zodiac projection, circumpolar Zodiac projection. So Polaris, the North Star, and then those 7 stations that are always visible in the north, always visible in the north. And of course, circle 7, and then all of that. But also, I'll just give y'all a little hint. So we talk about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, tree of life, etc. So here, is it chapter 2 or chapter 3? Yeah, here it is. So this is nothing big, y'all. I mean, most of you probably are already aware of it. But this is on chapter 2. It says here, and Yeshua stood before the guests and said, quote unquote, I had a dream, and in my dream I stood before the sea upon a sandy beach. I stood before the sea upon a sandy beach. I wish I had. Now, this made that image of Noble Darrell-El standing with he's on the beach with his feet in the water, and he had a woman in his hands or in his arms. Okay, so that image came to mind. Y'all know that image. And another image came to mind, which I saw in Jehovah's Witnesses book. And they stopped publishing this book a long time ago. But nevertheless, it was a picture of J.C. the Christ figure standing at the seashore with his feet in the water. And he had his hand out like this. And right here, in front of his hand, was a picture of a Moor. Picture of a Moorish man. Okay, you see the afro. I mean, it was obvious. It was obvious. And then it had a picture of John the Revelator reaching up, giving him a bill, a piece of paper, a bill. But the point, it was at the seashore. And this is what came to my mind. Not that it means anything, I'm sharing it with you. Okay? I'm sharing it with you. Now, let's continue. So Yeshua says, I had a dream. I stood before the sea upon a sandy beach, upon a sandy beach. The waves upon the sea were high. A storm was raging on the deep. Now, Water can refer to the sea of space. Okay? So in other words, you look up into the sky, you see the heavenly bodies, that's supposed to be a sea. But then it's also the sea and the oceans on earth. Okay? So the waves upon the sea were high. A storm was raging on the deep. Someone above gave me a wand. Gave me a wand. Someone above gave me a wand. You know, I often refer to the magic wand, right? To the magic wand that you can use to write a narrative, you can use to write a story, a movie, a play, a poem, an essay, an article, a scientific article, whatever you will. And you can actually cause people to transport themselves into your narrative, and if they accept it, then they will begin to live their life based upon the values and beliefs, etc., in that information that you wrote or in the movie that you saw. It's just a matter of repetition and acceptance. Okay, that's what the magic wand of the pen, Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, in this case, Yeshua says, someone above gave me a wand. So let's see what happens after he is given the wand from someone above. I took the wand and touched the sands. And y'all know that in the Christian iconography, the prophets and JC, the Christ figure, performed miracles with a wand, a magic wand. And the wand was made out of what? Hollywood. It was made out of Hollywood. Someone above gave me a wand. I took the wand and touched the sands. And every grain of sand became a living thing. Every grain of sand became a living thing. So y'all get that image in your head right now. Imagine you're at the beach. Or if you haven't been to the beach in a while, imagine you're at the playground in a sandbox. And all those individual grains of sand become living things. Just get that image in your head. This is what he's talking about. The beach was all a mass of beauty and song. The beach was all a mass of beauty and song after Yeshua touched it with the magic wand. So what was not living, what was plain, ordinary, now becomes vestige of life and beauty and song. He continues, I touched the waters at my feet, and they were changed to trees and flowers and singing birds. The waters were changed to trees, and this is kind of getting toward the point I wanted to make. Remember I mentioned the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? Y'all remember? Having reference with the Garden of Eden and everything we've talked about as of late, the last several classes. So what are these trees? Are they literal trees? Could they be symbolic, right? So in nature, remember, man is thought made manifest from the soil. Man is energy embedded or encoded with information. Man is not subject to death, not subject to birth. Man only transforms himself. Okay? What we call death is really a rebirth into a new form. All right? I'm talking about the Hermetic Laws, all is mind, and then of course the second law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy is information. All right? So this information, in combination with the soil or the earth, forms a man or a woman. All right? So this tree, I'll just cut to the chase. This tree, I'm giving you my opinion, this tree is representative of masculine and feminine energy. Masculine and feminine energy. Because all things that are formed using masculine and feminine energy. Now there's more to the story, right? So my understanding is that in the most ancient of times, that tree represented femininity. But that doesn't mean feminine gender as in vagina and ovaries. That means hermetically feminine energy, which is just the opposite end. For example, here's a line. This is just energy. So at the positive node, masculine energy. At the negative, let me restate that. At one end of the line, the extreme end of the line, 100% masculine energy. At the opposite end of the same line, 100% feminine energy. So masculine energy and feminine energy exist in their purest forms at the extreme opposite ends of the line. But as you go across the line, the percentages of the masculine and feminine energy changes. Y'all see it? So where does the masculine energy become feminine energy? And where does feminine energy become masculine energy? Is it at halfway through the line? So my point is this. The tree represents masculine and feminine energy. Or what? Or what? We can say the DNA. The DNA. All right? The DNA. Let me make my point. I almost forgot. So in the most ancient times, as I have gotten this story, the tree was feminine. But then the tree is also said to be masculine. Was also said to be masculine. Or masculine energy. All right? Also said to be, was also said to be a mushroom. The tree is a mushroom. And that gets into the whole magic mushroom and stuff like that. But anyway, let's keep it moving. My point is that this tree represents creative energy. Okay? That's it, creative energy. DNA is energy, right? DNA is a structure of energy that's used to form man, that's used to clothe man, to give man this physical body, right? And then the subconscious mind, of course, of man is the Holy Spirit. The subconscious mind of man is that faculty of consciousness that is responsible for change, growth, and development, right? And decline and deterioration. So that's the subconscious mind. Now, and that's feminine energy. The masculine mental energy exists outside of the fleshly body. This is the great I am. The masculine mental energy is the great I am that does not change. That does not change. And it is the will of the masculine mental energy that activates or gives the command to the subconscious mind to initiate formation and growth. Okay, and that your subconscious mind is susceptible to the masculine mental energy, not just your own, but someone else's. Y'all remember the story of the cuckoo bird, right? The cuckoo bird will lay its egg in the nest of another bird. Then that bird, not knowing it, will nurture that cuckoo bird, and the cuckoo bird will hatch first, and then kick out the eggs, push out the eggs of the bird itself. Those eggs will die, and then that bird, not knowing what happened with its own eggs, will continue to nurture and feed that cuckoo bird. Meaning to say that someone else's masculine mental energy will initiate thoughts, beliefs, conducts, and habits that didn't come from your masculine mental energy. It came from them. And so now you become their bondman or bondwoman without even knowing it, because they hijack your mind. Y'all got it? So this is what came to me as I read this and as I thought about it over the last few days, okay? So the beach was all a mass of beauty and song. I touched the waters at my feet, and they were changed to trees. Y'all see the life form changed. The DNA, the genetic structure changed, okay? And formed new living things. And flowers are the sexual organs of plants, right? The bees pollinate the flowers. Y'all see what's happening here? And singing birds live in trees. And everything was praising Allah. And someone spoke. I did not see the one who spoke. I heard the voice which said, "There is no death." I heard the voice say, "There is no death." Man is not subject to birth, and man is not subject to life. Man is eternal, always was, and always will be, and always is. The great I am never changes. Never changes. And the whole quest of man is to make his self-image in the flesh exactly reflect the great I am, which is who he really is. And then that's when the man produces, well, connotatively speaking, his God activities. Y'all see what I'm saying here? Connotatively speaking, that's when the man demonstrates that he is God. in other people's eyes. Okay? So man, know thyself. Your self-image is exactly what and who you are, which is the great I am. That means you are boundless, you are limitless, you are timeless, which means that you're not afraid of death, you're not afraid of success, you're not afraid of math, you're not afraid of anything, any of these things, but you know that those things are you. And you've mastered them. All right? So anyway, let me see if there's anything else I didn't intend on. Okay. Notice this, y'all, grandmother Anne. So now here we have the feminine, the dominant feminine energy man. So Yeshua is 7 years old, right? 7 years old. So you have to look at the symbolism of the meaning of 7. And boys, boys can be what? When they're younger. Are they fully masculine men? No. No, they're not fully masculine men. They don't have the testosterone at 7 years old to be a fully masculine man. All right? And some men are more masculine than others, which would mean some men are more feminine than they are masculine compared to other men. Right, y'all? But nonetheless, at 7 years old, how much feminine energy is in a 7-year-old child? Well, I don't know. But here we are. The grandmother, who's fully feminine, a grown woman, right? And maybe she's past menopause, it doesn't say. But if she's past menopause, that means her estrogen levels are decreasing, so she may be becoming more masculine. Y'all ever notice that when women get older, they become more masculine? Sometimes their voice gets deeper. Sometimes they start to grow facial hair. All right? But anyway, let's continue. Grandmother Anne loved the child. She laid her hand on Yeshua's head and said, quote, I saw you stand beside the sea. I saw you touch the sand and the waves, and I saw them turn into living things. And then I knew the meaning of the dream, end quote. And then she said, quote, the sea of life rolls high. The sea of life rolls high. What came to my mind is a scripture that says, I'm a God of the living and not the dead, right? The sea of life rolls high. The storms are great. So yeah, you're going to have a lot of trouble, a lot of vexations in life, a lot of storms. But remember, in nature, say you're out on the sea, okay? It's dark, the storms are there, but what happens, y'all? When the sun begins to rise, when Jesus woke up in the small boat, he told the storm, be quiet. When the sun rises in the morning, the energy of the sun causes the storms to subside. So that sun is enlightenment. That is the higher self, the nobility, the noble self, the honorable self, the highly educated self, the disciplined self, the higher self, has the ability to solve those problems, minimize those problems, and avoid those problems. So now we're getting into what again? That's right, you guessed it. The law of opposites. The Hermetic law of opposites the lesser law of transmutation and cosmic habit force. Okay, also the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm, right? The ins and outs, the rhyme and rhythm. You know, those things that let me say this. You know, this a woman's menstruation, that's a cycle. But we also have, that's a cycle you can see. But we also have cycles or pattern behavior that we may not be aware of. But modalities such as biofeedback can make us aware of when we're about to initiate one of those cycles. And a lot of these cycles may be negative, which result or culminate in one of these storms or several storms. And through biofeedback, you become aware of those cycles, and now you can interrupt that pattern. But also through meditation and through, you know, my favorite, which is man, it's not coming to it. It's on the tip of my tongue. The silver method. Okay? So anyway, let's continue. The sea of life rolls high. The storms are great. The multitude of men are idle. And an idle mind does what? Finds trouble. Okay? And birds of a feather flock together. The multitude of men are idle, listless, waiting like dead sands upon the beach. So what just happened here? Waiting like dead sands upon the beach. Did not Yeshua, in this instance with the wand, touching the sand and touching the water, did he not just raise up fallen man? Did he not just raise up fallen man? Yes, he raised up fallen man, brought the fallen men to life. Okay, y'all? I'm just telling y'all from my perspective. So does this have anything to do with the dry bones and then the dry bones being raised up that we see in the scriptures? Now, the grandmother continues, your want is true. With this, you touched the multitude. You touched the multitude with truth. With truth. Well, what's the truth? The truth about your nationality and birthright. Birthrights. The truth about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North, or the United States, the foreign United States. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. The United States of North America. The reason why I said that, for is an abbreviation for foreign. Okay, for is an abbreviation for foreign. Had we known that, we would have known decades ago that we were foreign to the United States, foreign nationals to the United States, even before there was a 14th Amendment, when our people were really, really in bad shape. Right? We would have known that we are foreign nationals. Why? Because foreign is an abbreviation for foreign. Okay? The Constitution of the foreign United States of America, or something along those lines. But let's get back to it. Your want is true. And remember what kicked this whole discussion off is that Yeshua was offered a gift, and he said he didn't want it because he's satisfied. And then he said, but this is what I'll take, if I remember correctly about the story. But anyway, so this is why she's saying your want is true. With this you touch the multitude. You touch the multitude with truth. And every man becomes a messenger of holy light and life. Well, what's the holy light? Holy, that has reference to the sun, the S-U-N sun. So the sun emanates its sun rays, its rock, its rays, which are encoded with energy and information. Right? The soil, Mother Earth, is fecundated, remember, is made highly prolific, highly productive by the sunlight, especially in July, in Leo rather. That's when the sun rays are most intense. And it makes the soil of the soil on Earth very, very fertile. Right, y'all? This is what we got from our last several classes. And then we get the harvest, right? The fruit begin to ripen and mature. The wheat and the barley begin to ripen and mature in August, and then we get the other harvest and ultimately the grape harvest in September, right? And it ends, the grape harvest ends, I think on September 29th. The sweet wine, when you press it in the wine press, will only produce vinegar. And hence Christ drank vinegar, indicating that the wine harvest had ended. You touch, let's go back. It says, with this, well, your one is true. With this you touch the multitude, and every man becomes a messenger of holy light and life. Every man becomes a messenger. What's a messenger? A messenger is an angel. A messenger is an angle of light embedded with energy and information to be used by those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, and who are willing to see and hear what the Spirit is saying to the congregation. Y'all heard? Those who reject it, what do? They kill the Christ in skull place. Okay, they killed the Christ in skull place. You touch the waves upon the sea of life, their turmoils cease. See, the knowledge, the higher self, the mastery of the sciences, especially for us these days, y'all, the mastery of civics, of law, because that's what we're all faced with right now, right? These devils and their bills of attainder, right? And the collusive actions that they take against us to keep us in a stateless person's civilly dead status. The very winds become a song of praise. There is no death. There is no civil death. Because the wand of truth can change the driest bones to living things, can change the most lower self, devil, and Satan, the most wicked, bucket-bootied bastard, into a higher self, man or woman. Through what? Through enlightenment. So now we see the snake or Draco around the tree of life. Wisdom. All right, wisdom. The snake around the tree of life, Draco. The constellation Draco, who takes the form of a snake, whose initial form, by the way, was an alligator. was an alligator. And there's a scholar I heard, Tassan, or I don't remember how to pronounce his name, Michael Tassan or something like that. I don't remember. But according to him, Messiah's root word is mess, and that means the fat of the alligator. And Pharaoh would be anointed with the fat of the alligator, but that alligator is Draco. So this is astrology, y'all. This is astrology. So this is the significance of our zodiac constitution. It's not religious. It is a constitution. To be you, it is law. There is no death, because the wand of truth can change the driest bones to living things. That wand of truth can take a Moor from being civilly dead, Civiliter Mortuus, and have that Moorish man or woman reclaim their birthright and their nationality is their birthright, and bring them back into full life status. In fact, let me show y'all how this works out. For those of you who are familiar with this, just be patient, okay? Because a lot of people are not familiar with with how this plays out in law and when we file our writs. Okay, so this is judicial notice and proclamation. I'm gonna also find it in a case, y'all. But this is something we all need to do, the judicial notice and proclamation. So I'm gonna read from here that I, okay? So this is, this was filed on July 12, 2022. This is a judicial notice. Let me read this here. It says that I, Janae Sophia Bey, am a noble of the Almoroccan Empire, North America, in propria persona, in parentheses, my own proper self, being Moorish American and heir and descendant of the ancient Moabites. Moors, y'all don't get this twisted, thinking that the Moabites are something negative in scripture. That is not the case. That's a situation of defamation and character assassination. Okay? Why? To pull you away, to give you a negative attitude about the Moors. All right? And remember, Moors is not a club or a religion. Moor means autochthonous to the earth, or sprung from the soil, in the same way a tree springs or is sprung from the soil. Also the flowers. Okay, y'all see it? See the symmetry? All right, so it says by birthright, by freehold, by primogeniture, and by inheritance, being aboriginal and indigenous to the land, a maxim, the Americas. Hold on, I want to get, there's some other, hold on. Let me go to a case, because that's not what I was looking for. But that's still, I mean, it's still appropriate. Hold on. These look like, this one looks like all judicial notices and proclamations. I think what I did in this one, I printed all the judicial, hold on. Y'all be patient, give me 1 second on here, please. Yeah, okay, I found a default judgment. Let me see if I can find it here. No. I left the other one at home. I should have brought it with me. 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Ah, okay, so here we are. This is more close, but it's still not what I want. But this is more close. This is a writ of quo wanto. So y'all take a look at. But again, I downloaded these off of the website enforcetheconstitution.org, so y'all can go get these. I can't make out the file date. But anyway, let's take a look at it. This is a writ of quo wanto, and it says here, for the record, I am George Edward Neal Bay, a natural person in full life, in propria persona sui juris. My nationality, citizenship is North American, being an Aboriginal and Indigenous, sovereign national, and heir of the Moroccan Empire, and a foreign national inhabitant, that's a foreign national with respect to the United States de facto corporate entity. He continues, I come now making special appearance under duress as authorized representative, ex rel, the artificial corporate person, nom de guerre, George Edward Neal Bay, and I hereby challenge your jurisdiction by a quo wanto on the grounds of lack of jurisdiction and improper venue. Okay? So, in this case, we see how a Moor who is dead, dry bones as it were, a lower self Moor, and I'm not saying this about this Moor, I'm speaking in general, the lower self Moor, transmuting to become a higher self Moor, okay? Civilly dead, and then that Moor, through wisdom, okay, is able to what? Transmute, move up out of the lower self state, the religious mindset, the civilly dead, civiliter mortuus status, and bring himself, resurrect himself, save himself. Save himself. Okay? Hiram Abiff rising up out of the grave. And then ultimately becoming the Christ, and then cosmic habit force of being initiated to keep him polarized. Or in other words, his mental and behavioral habits keep him at the Christ node or in the higher self, right? Or as it were, the Most High. How does it say it in Deuteronomy 30? Let me pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hey, like and share the video, y'all, and support if you're learning. If you're learning, like and share the video and subscribe, okay? If you've been here longer than 5 minutes, like and share the video. That's the least you can do. Okay, so let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 30. I want to show y'all some language here. You know what, as a matter of fact, let me read this to y'all. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30. This is the NIV version. Doesn't matter what version you read this from. It says, prosperity after turning to the Lord. All right, so Deuteronomy 30, verse 1. When all these blessings and curses, this is referring to Deuteronomy chapter 28, I have set before you come on you. So that means you'll be blessed and you'll be cursed. So the final situation is the curses. Okay, that's a lower self mindset, a lower self condition, a poverty and early death condition and situations, okay? and you take them to heart, and you take them to heart. That's a process of learning, right? You first you must become aware before you can take them to heart, right? Wherever your power disperses you among the nations. Okay, that's pretty clear. I don't want to focus on that. I'm going to continue to what I want to get to. Okay, verse 2. And when you and your children return to the Most High your power and obey Him, that means live in harmony with natural law. The ultimate principles of the universe is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And to what, y'all? Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Follow the instructions that they gave us in those ancient times. So our lives revolved around astrology. Everything we did revolved around astrology, right? You need to eat, so you need to plan. We were farmers in addition to other things, okay? So astrology was a big part. It was universally known. It was not a religion. It was not a cult. Okay, it was science. And when you and your children return to the Most High your power and obey Him with all your heart and with all your soul. So in other words, that means our motivation and our intention was to follow the law. Natural law, the Hermetic Laws, the laws that govern astrology and the physical universe. And then also those laws or lectures, as it were, that were given to us, passed down to us from our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Y'all know that's the literal definition of law. You can get that out of Ptolemy's Ruins of Nations. And there's a book in there inserted called the Natural Law, and you'll get that. Obey Him with all your heart. So that's Exodus chapter 20, 12. And with all your soul, according to everything I command you today. Then the Most High your power will restore your fortunes and have compassion on you and gather you again from all the nations where you were scattered. Verse 4. Even if you had been banished to the most distant land under the heavens, from there the Most High your power will gather you and bring you back. He will bring you to the land that belonged to your ancestors. That's what? That's you get your estate back. You get your estate back. Let me read it again. He will bring you to the land that belonged to your ancestors. That's you exercising your reversionary right to the estate. And you will take possession of it. So now, so I don't know if I have some of these documents with me, but some of these writs rather. But let me see if I can find one real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Adverse claim of title and reversion of ancestral estate. Y'all take a look at that. Y'all see it? So affidavit of fact, adverse claim of title, and reversion of ancestral estate. International document, notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. RE, estate and reversion known as, and then it gives the location. I'm not going to read the location, okay? So, stare decisis law, quote unquote. A state cannot refuse to give foreign nationals their treaty rights because of fear that valid international agreements may possibly not work completely to the satisfaction of state authorities. Under the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, Article 4, Clause 2, state policies as to the rights of aliens, as to the rights of Moors who are foreign nationals, who are aliens to the U.S. corporation. The rights of aliens, the rights of Moors to inherit, must give way to overriding federal treaties and conflicting arrangements. See Colorat versus Oregon, 366. Isn't that interesting? A 3, and then a 6 and a 6. U.S. 187. 194, 81, S. Dot, CT, Supreme Court, 9-2, and the year is 1961. All right, now let me continue. The print is very small, y'all. So I'm having y'all see how small the print is? So bear with me, okay? Bear with me. Now remember, the last several classes that I've done, we dealt with the issue of status. Genesis chapter 2, the autochthonous Moor sprung from the soil, who is, by law, well, first of all, if you look up land in a law dictionary, you will see as one of the definitions, Moors. So a Moor is land, and land, therefore Moors are the substance and subject matter of the law, period. Period. Genesis chapter 1, created creature, not formed, but created, right? That some geneticists, the Yakub story, right? They got the ingredients, mixed it up, and then they made or created this Neanderthal, or the Han Uman, which in law, a human is a contracted form of the word Han Uman. Han Uman is half man, half monkey, and is non-descendable. In other words, it cannot inherit. It, nor its descendants, nor its children. Let's continue with this case. So we're going through stare decisis law. It says here, I don't know if I should read, let me not read their name. It says we, and then it gives the national name, the free national name of two Moors. Sui juris, so now we're getting into civil status. Sui juris being Aboriginal and indigenous Moorish American sovereign national of the continental Americas in the Moroccan Empire. There's your civil status in full life. Being of legal age, after being duly affirmed according to law, hereby dispose and state the following. One, we are surviving consanguinity heirs by blood, y'all, by blood. See, that attaches you back to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, being sprung from the soil. And therefore you are what? Do you remember? You are land, and land is the substance and subject matter of the law. In other words, if it ain't about land, it ain't about nothing. If it ain't about a Moor, it ain't about nothing. Moors are the law. Does everyone see it? Y'all see it? He continues. We are surviving consanguinity heirs apparent of the late ancient Moabites. Now, do y'all see why they bashed, disgraced, and defamed the Moabites? Y'all see why they did that now? There's the huge motive. To make you shun the Moabites. Make you shun yourself. Why? Rob you of your birthright to get you to do it. Yourself. I don't want to be a Moabite. Okay, you don't want to be a Moabite. You are dishonoring your ancient foremothers and forefathers, so you're disqualified from being an heir. Therefore, you're a stateless person. Now you're property in law. You're civilly dead. All right. So let's continue. Heir apparent of the late ancient Moabites, formerly known as Moroccans. Modernly known as Moroccans, from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Kemet to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, which is a maxim. They were the founders and are the true possessors. Y'all see that? The founders and true possessors. That means it's our stuff. It's ours by birthright, and we have possession over it at that time. At that time. But you see in Deuteronomy chapter 30, what is it saying? It says in chapter 30, verse 5, it says, he will bring you back to the land that belonged to your ancestors, and you will take possession over it. And this is what's happening now, scholars, Moors. And I've been telling the scholars at Zion Law School this, so this is probably old information for you all, but it's new for a lot of people, so be patient. All right, so he continues. So that means our ancestors were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren, who sojourned from the land of Canaan, seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast to southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, Central, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake, which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. Two, our political status and Class A1 citizenship is aboriginal. Originator. Remember we went through that. Originator, founder, the original fathers. And that goes back to Aries, the zodiac sign Aries. That goes back to the Garden of Eden. That takes us back then to the trees. The tree of knowledge of good and bad, and the tree of life, and the DNA. Right? The masculine and feminine energy that was used to form the man, to form the thought into a fleshly body. And of course the snake, okay, which is feminine and it's wisdom, okay, Holy Spirit. Now I'm speaking from a astrological or astro-theological point of view, not a religious point of view. Keep that in mind. This is not religion. This is not religion. Let's continue. Our political status and Class A1 citizenship is Aboriginal and Indigenous free Moors. Moorish Americans. Moors are sprung from the soil by lawful definition. Moors are land. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 is memorialized there and in the law dictionaries, okay? Moorish American sovereign nationals of the Moroccan Empire. The Maghreb, Al-Aqsa, northwestern Maxim, North America by just sanguinis, and is recognized under registration number AA 222141. Okay, Class A. So that y'all, there's different levels or gradations of citizenship. Okay, ours is the highest, but not U.S. citizens. A Moor can never be a U.S. citizen unless he's, not even unless. Okay, so let's continue. And is recognized under registration number, and we just went through that, with the Clock of Destiny, Moorish American National Identification Card, and Zodiac Constitution, recorded September 10th, 1952 in the Library of Congress, Copyright Office, Washington, D.C., and Washington District of Columbia, rather, and the United States Department of Justice. Number 3, our Moabite ancestors died intestate. All right, so now y'all see that all of this is taking us into the treaty. All of this is taking us into the treaty. And retain, so they died intestate, and they retain reversionary interest in the lands, territories, and resources. What are the resources? Well, the natural resources, the commerce, the gold, the silver, the contracts, everything. The air, the water, everything. Hold on, y'all. All right, so we retain reversionary interest in the lands, territories, and resources of the present Moroccan Empire. So this should also call to your mind the preamble to the Constitution for the foreign United States. See, we the people ordained that Constitution. And the purpose of it was to benefit our ancestors then, and of course, they said their posterity. That's us, their offspring, their ascendants. Okay? And I think it's Amendment 10, the 10th Amendment. I have to check it to be sure. That rights specifically not designated to the U.S. federal government are reserved to the people. That's the people in the preamble, and we are the people, the autochthonous Moors. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, Moors. Everybody see it? Let's continue. Okay, so we have reversionary interest in the lands, territories, resources of the present Moroccan Empire at North America, which the foreign hybrid Occidental Europeans et al. Presently occupy and used by de facto usurpation, that's feudalism, under the expired 50-year mandate, i.e. the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836, in force since 1837 between the United States of North America and the Moroccan Empire. All right, which superseded the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1887. So even before the organic U.S. Constitution was made, the initial Treaty of Peace and Friendship was there, in place and in force, okay? This treaty is the supreme law of the land under Article 4, Clause 2, Supremacy Clause of the Constitution for the United States of North America, and Article 25 of this treaty averts the expired duration of such usurpation as follows. Now remember, in the verse we read, Deuteronomy 30, was it 5? Well, it says that the Most High would give us back our land. This is a reversionary interest. So that land was being held in trust by a foreign entity. And they were operating a feudalistic operation. Today, they're operating a feudalistic operation, usurpation. Okay? But it's through these documents that our ancient ancestors provided for us that we get our land, our birthright back. Let's continue. Article 25. This treaty shall continue, and you know what, let me read it from, I'm going to read it from the treaty. I think that's a better approach. So y'all take a look at the title page. I also got this off of the website, enforcetheconstitution.org, so everybody can get it. This is a certified copy of the treaty from the Library of Congress, as y'all saw. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So here we are. Let me just show it, and then I'll go to Article 25. Y'all see the stamp? Y'all can pause it and read it if you like. So, Article 25. So you can pause it on the replay and read it. All right, so here it is. Article 25. This treaty shall continue in force with the help of God for 50 years, after the expiration of which term the treaty shall continue to be binding on both parties until the one shall give 12 months notice to the other of an intention to abandon it, in which case its operations shall cease at the end of the 12 months. So this treaty is still in force. This treaty is still an active treaty. And y'all can confirm that by going on the U.S. State Department website. And there's a page that has a list of all the active treaties, and you'll find this on there. All right? So now, let's continue. Number 4. Per our treaty right under Article 22 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836 between the United States of North America and the Moroccan Empire, as the surviving rightful heirs apparent, and in accordance with the international law provision of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the Rights of Moors, we hereby make claim to our inherited ancestral estate in reversion, which is being held in trust de facto by the foreign corporate, and then it gives, let me just go ahead and read it, by the foreign corporate Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Inc., and subsidiaries as Escheat, fee simple, property under color of law. Okay, so I talked about fee simple, escheat in many videos. Okay, so y'all go back and read those, or look them up in the go back and watch those videos, or look them up in the Black's Law Dictionary. Okay, because I want to keep moving. But these are key concepts that you have to understand. Escheat, the es is a prefix, so cheat. They cheated you out of it. How did they cheat you out of it? Because you are in a status. You're in a civilly dead status. Why? Because you are dishonoring your ancient foremothers and ancient forefathers. In other words, you're a lawbreaker. You broke the Most High's commandments, which means you're lower self. Okay, that takes us back to the law of polarity, back to transmutation and all of that we talked about, right? Being dead, dry bones, civilly dead, and then resurrecting yourself. Okay? How? Through wisdom and knowledge. Through enlightenment. Through the S-U-N Sun, through enlightenment. It continues. Per the stare decisis law, in the Kolovrat case mentioned above, our treaty rights to inherit property are under Article 22 of the said Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, overrides. It means it is more authoritative. It is more powerful. It overrides any and all corporate policies. So that doesn't mean it makes no difference if it's Walmart, the state of Maryland, the state of this, the state of that, any corporation. This treaty has more power. Okay? This is the supreme law of the land. It continues. Per the stare decisis law in the Kolovrat case mentioned above, our treaty right to inherit property under Article 22 of said peace treaty of 1836 overrides any and all corporate policies of the foreign corporate, notice this y'all, Republic of Trinidad, Tobago. And so that's not in the continental U.S. and subsidiaries that are made to the contrary of the following. Article 22. This is amazing, y'all, right? Article 22. If an American citizen shall die in our country, civil death. So now remember, American, this is the whole continent. North America, all of North America, Mexico, Central America, South America, and the adjoining islands. That's America. If an American citizen sprung from the soil in any of those places I just mentioned shall die in our country, shall be civilly dead, Civiliter Mortuus, lower self, and no will shall appear. Let's go back to what the person who drafted this writ said in number 1. We are the surviving consequentis heirs apparent of the late ancient Moabites. He goes on to say what number, which one is it, y'all, where he says, my ancestors died intestate. Number 3. Our Moabite ancestors died intestate. See it? Right here in the, this is coming out of the treaty. If an American citizen shall die in our country, and no will shall appear, the council, this is consular jurisdiction and venue, shall take possession of his effects. Y'all hear that? The council shall take possession of his effects, of his property. Now y'all know that your heirs and your consort, y'all know that that's your property? Men, that's your property. The council shall take possession of his effects. Effects, that's your property. Physical, your consort, and your heirs are included in as your property. And if there shall be no counsel, the effects shall be deposited into the hands of some person worthy of trust. Well, the U.S. government, corporation rather, the U.S. de facto corporation gave up its consular jurisdiction, I think, in 1954. About 1954. So there's no council present. They have no council. So what's going to happen? The effects, the property, shall be deposited in the hands of some person worthy of trust. So what kind of trust are they using? A user fund, feudalism, Siskiyou trust. Until the party shall appear who has the right, until the party shall appear who has the right to demand them. Who has the right to demand them? Only the heir by blood. Now do y'all see why they got you calling yourself Black, African American, then the next day you are melanated or highly melanated people? Anything other than but your nationality, which is a Moor or Moorish American, okay? The Moroccan Empire, anything but that. Why? Well, now you see why. It's because of this treaty. In your proper status, when you honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers, when you follow the Most High's commandments, when you live in harmony or harmonically with nature, you can exercise your reversionary rights to your estate. It's a birthright. Why? Because you're sprung from the soil. Your thought may manifest from the soil. You are nature. So of course, all of the material things belong to you. It's part of you. You're just reclaiming yourself. Also remember that your self-image, your job in this life is to make your self-image perfectly match the great I am. Take that for what it's worth. Now let's continue. Until the party shall appear who has right to demand them. So let me go back. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on. Until the party shall appear who has a right to demand them. Let me see if I can find this for y'all. Judicial notice and proclamation. The party has appeared. All right? The party has appeared. There's a public record of the party having the right to demand the estate has appeared in the public record. All right, y'all? But if the heir to the person deceased be present, the property shall be delivered to him without interruption. Y'all see that? Okay? Here's the evidence that you're the rightful heir and that you're present. Okay, now, by law, they need to give you your property back. Okay, so when you put this writ in the public record, there's no higher power There's none that can stop you. Okay? So this treaty is the supreme, the treaty and the Constitution are the supreme law of the land, whether they like it or not. Okay? See Colorado versus Oregon. Now let's continue. He continues. Let me go back now. I want to read this treaty, but I want to read this article out of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. I think it's the proper thing to do. Article 22. So I'm going to read Article 22. Okay, y'all? Pause the video, you can read it yourself, or download it from enforcetheconstitution.org. Article 22. If an American citizen shall die in our country, and no will shall appear, the council shall take possession of his effects, and if there shall be no council, the effects shall be deposited in the hands of some person worthy of trust. So that might be somebody in the Attorney General's office, in the taxation office at the state level. Okay, y'all? Let's continue. Until the party shall appear who has a right to demand them. That's the bloodline heir, the rightful heir, the heir apparent. But if the heir to the person deceased, our ancestors, this is not in the, I'm going back to the writ. Remember, our ancestors died intestate. They died Negro, black, and colored. African American. They had no idea that there were the heirs to the land. And those who did, they dare not say it because they would be exterminated. Y'all remember how that went. So they died intestate. But if the heir to the person deceased be present, the property shall be delivered to him without interruption. And if a will shall appear, the property shall descend agreeably to that will as soon as the council shall declare the validity thereof. All right, y'all? So who has the authority? Who has the Article 3 authority and power? Counselor, jurisdiction, and venue. These are Mormons. That's us. Article 10, the reserved rights of the people. I guess I should look that up to make sure I'm saying the right article. Well, I'll do it later. I want to move through I didn't get to talk about anything that I planned on talking about. Oh well, let's keep it moving. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe this is what was meant to be. All right. So let's continue with this writ. Okay, number 5. We hereby make adverse claim of aboriginal title to our ancestral estate in reversion, including, but not limited to, the property described to writ. So in other words, the property, our ancestral property that y'all are holding in trust, right? Through usufruct operations, through feudalism, I want it back. And we see it memorialized in Scripture. Deuteronomy 30, verse 5. For those of you who have eyes to see and are willing to see, you see this. Who have ears to hear and you're willing to understand, you understand what I'm talking about. For the rest of y'all who are still cursed, For the rest of y'all who are still wearing the blindfold and the earplugs of the historical J.C. Christ figure, you're killing the Christ in skull place. Right? You're killing the Christ in skull place, in your head. You're rejecting this information. Now, this is the point I wanted to make. So we go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 6. This is what it says. The Most High, your power, will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your, it says here descendants, but we're going to say ascendants, okay? Because to descend is to go down. All right, so that's a curse. That's a spell. To see yourself as someone who's going down. Again, the Most High, your power, will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your ascendants, so that you may love him with all your heart and all your soul and live. Oh. So in other words, cosmic habit force is going to kick in. Remember, go back to the law of polarity, a lower self and higher self. Civiliter, in full life, in propria persona, sui juris. Alright? And then the lower self, civilly dead, man or woman, rises up through transmutation. Through what? Through enlightenment, through sunlight, through wisdom, the snake, through wisdom. Okay? So he rises up from his civilly dead state, being a devil and a Satan, being a dirty, nasty person, to becoming what? The Christ. And then he polarizes at the Christ node, or polarizes himself as the Christ. That's done through cosmic habit force, or just habit. And how can you move up most easily? I like the silver method. Other people may say biofeedback. Other people may say Reiki and other modalities of healing your mind and body. In other words, making your self-image more closely match the great I am. All right, and all of this movement is done at the will of the Father. So the less you know about yourself, your nationality, that would include the lectures of your family, the law that governs your family. That means the less you know, the weaker your will, the weaker your masculine mental energy, and you are susceptible, let me not say susceptible, you are under the domination of foreigners. That's why you're acting the way you're acting in the lower self. That's why you're religious. That's why you're dirty, wicked, and evil. All right? But with the strong knowledge of your nationality and civics, and the five principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the Constitution, the treaty, who you are, the more that knowledge increases, the more wisdom you have, and the more you transmute up toward the Christ node, toward the higher self. And then eventually, your self-image exactly matches the great I am. Y'all got it? And then you've demonstrated yourself to be what? Connotatively speaking, a God in the eyes of others, but definitely you know that, who you are to yourself, right? You know it. And all of these things come through what? Storms, trauma, overcoming problems, overcoming storms. And then you develop the skill set to calm the storm on your own. Just like Jesus saw the storm and said, be calm. All right? So let's continue. Oh, wait. I want to do 7. It says so that, let's go back to 6. So the Most High will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your descendants. So this would be cosmic habit force. You're on autopilot. You're acting in the higher self with no effort. Why? For what purpose? So that you may love him, you may love yourself, you may love nature with all your heart and with all your soul, and live. Remember the sand on the beach, y'all? Yahshua touched the sand with the wand and everything came to life. Right? Remember the trees that grew out of the water and the flowers, the feminine energy? The subconscious mind is feminine energy. That's your Holy Spirit. And then your SOL, which is sunlight, that's your Trinity. Right? The SOL, which was scandalized into the SOUL. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The great I am that exists outside of the body, that's non-local, that's everywhere and nowhere at the same time, that never changes. And then your subconscious mind that's responsible for all of the changes that you undergo and experience, the creative force. But that's only going to happen at the will of the Father. And then the SOL, the energy that facilitates life. That's the Trinity, or that is a Trinity. The Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. Okay? Yahshua, Jesus, Christ. 8. The Most High, your power, will put all these curses, Deuteronomy 15 through 68, on your enemies who hate and persecute you. Y'all see why there's so much effort? See why there's so much effort in keeping you civilly dead and ignorant? To have you on autopilot to self-destruct? Because once you wake up, boys, the tables get turned. And those who are exercising feudalism will find themselves cursed. 8. You will again obey the Most High and follow all his commandments I am giving you today. Then the Most High, your power, will make you most prosperous in all the works of your hands and in the fruit of your womb, your livestock, and the crops of your land. And the Most High again will delight in you and make you prosperous, just as he delighted in your ancestors, if you obey the Most High, your power, and keep his commands and decrees that are written, listen y'all, that are written in this book of the law. Didn't say that are written in the New Testament. It said that are written in the book of the law. That's why I have the project to rewrite. Let me rephrase that. That's why I have the project to write the book of the law in Ancient Ibaryath and modern English, clearly showing the Hermetic Laws, the Hermetic principles, the astrotheology, the astrotheology and astrology, and removing the lies. Jeremiah 8 verse 8 is what I'm referencing, y'all. Removing the lies. Removing all of these references, inferences to religion. Because it ain't supposed to be there. Okay, it is a book of law. In fact, the Old and New Testaments are both astrological books. All right, let's continue. If you obey the Most High, your power, and keep his commands, right? The commands are what? Natural law. Don't harm it. The essence of which is don't harm anyone and don't harm yourself. Okay? Be honorable in all situations. Which is the same as love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All right? So if you obey the Most High, your power, and keep His commands and decrees that are written in this book of the law. There you are, period. The book of the law. And turn to the Most High, your power, with all your heart and with all your soul. In other words, be sincere. Be sincere. So this sincerity has nothing to do with seeking a relationship with an external power. Absolutely not. It has everything to do with Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14, which is your birthright, the material wealth, which is material wealth. And, of course, our nobility, our honor. We're supposed to be sincere about having, using, and benefiting from our birthright. Not bowing down to some external deity. That's not what it's about. It's about the birthright. Your sincere efforts to recover your inheritance, your birthright, and then to enjoy them. Okay, without harming anyone, including yourself. All right? And then it goes on with an offer for life and death. And I think this is very apropos to what we read in the red book. Okay, if we were to continue with that. All right? Let's see if I want to do anything else in here. Okay, 9. Let's just go over 9. This is page 4 of 6. Let's go over 9. If there shall be no rebuttal to this affidavit is affidavit of fact. Affidavit of fact, adverse claim of title, and reversion of ancestral estate international document. Okay? If there shall be no rebuttal to this affidavit being made point by point, that means they have to address everything point by point and signed under oath or affirmation by an interested person and sent to my mailing location, so on and so forth. I probably would have worded that differently. But that's neither here nor there. But this worked for the Moorish brother here. For these two Moors, this got them their ancestral estate back. All right. So the print, the quality of the print is not so good on this. That has more to do with the printer that I use. But y'all can probably, not probably, but definitely when you print it, if you got a good printer, it's going to print well. All right? So I hope I've been able to demonstrate something of value for everyone. So again, that came from this discussion initiated with the mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East, aka the Red Book. Here it is. All right. That's Noble Darrell-El, the man sitting in the chair. I like his pose. How about y'all? All right. And let me see. cover everything. Okay, so y'all, wait a minute. So let me make a correction. So on chapter 2, the gift came after. The offer for a gift came after the conversation about Yahshua being on the beach. Okay? So let me just review this last paragraph and we'll end this discussion, okay, on this topic. So you touched the waves upon the sea of life. Their turmoil ceased. The very winds became a song of praise. Right? You're going from higher self, you're going from lower self to higher self. And all those troubles, problems, those storms in life begin to, well, they end. All right? And because you're in the higher self, those storms that come along with the mass consciousness of the zodiacal age that you're in, you've risen above it. So those storms that are affecting the masses of the people are not affecting you because you've been able to transcend them. All right? If y'all remember us going through that. So now, let's continue. There is no doubt because the wand of truth, the truth about your nationality and birthright, because the wand of truth, the truth about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Constitution for the United States of North America, the preamble, the Zodiac Constitution, and what's the other two volumes? I mentioned it just a little while ago by C.M. Bay. It'll come to me. Okay, so the wand of truth can change the driest bones, can change the civilly dead, that devil, that opposer, can change the driest bones to living things. Okay? Can change that civilly dead, devil and Satan to the Christ. All right? And bring the loveliest flowers from stagnant ponds. So we covered that, right? The trees, the DNA, the wisdom, the enlightenment, okay? The transmutation from winter solstice to summer solstice, from devil and Satan to Christ, the wisdom, the enlightenment, the knowledge, right? Christ consciousness, CD consciousness, etc. And bring the loveliest flowers from stagnant ponds. These listless multitudes, these idle men who are like dead sands upon a beach, dry bones, bring them back to life. And this is working at the level of your DNA memory. Also, y'all remember the life is in the blood. The life is also in the blood. And bring the loveliest flowers from stagnant ponds and turn the most discordant notes to harmony and praise. Some people have thoughts that are disturbing. Their thoughts are so disturbing that it messes everything up in their life. But as the text says here, and turn the most discordant notes, the most discordant thoughts to harmony with nature and praise. Praise because of your conduct, your higher self conduct, your nationalization activities. Y'all see it? And in this way, we each resurrect ourselves and we help lift up our fallen Moorish brothers and sisters all right, through our example and also through our civics lessons, okay, etc., etc., etc. I've been going for a long time, y'all. I think I'm gonna stop it here and change the name of the video. I don't know what I'm gonna put for the name of the video, but we've been going 110 minutes. Let me check. Give me 1 second. If y'all have any comments, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll read them off. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. So I'll go through the comments now. I don't see any comments. All right. So am I looking at it right? All right, y'all. I'm going to stop it here. Islam to all the Moors. Thanks y'all for spending time with me. Hope y'all learned something about our birthright, about our nationality, and about how the book of the law memorializes or preserves this information for us, and that you can see how we need to correct or restate, as it were, the book of the law, so that the Hermetic Laws, the Astrology, the lesser laws, and the constitutional principles are clearly evident that they're no longer hidden and buried underneath the English. So I hope all of y'all can see that. If you want to support my project to rewrite or restate the book of the law, and you can see the major points of what it's going to cover in the description area of this video. If y'all want to support it, you can send your Federal Reserve notes or whatever currency you're using to my PayPal. I think it's paypal.me/Zion Law School, something like that. The link is in the description area of the video. Also, the Patreon, you can also do it. The link is in the description area of the video. You can send it on my website. There's a donation or support page. Well, anyway, it's all there in the description area of the video. If y'all want to, I strongly suggest y'all come to my class on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we go through the book of the law in much greater detail. Much greater detail. And we point this type of information out. So you got to contact me to get the link. My email address is yasapa@zionlawschool.org. YASAPA@Zion, ZION, lawschool.org. All right. I may be able to reconnect that link sometime within the next couple of days. If I can reconnect the link for the class, 506 Curses course, I'll do that. But y'all can also buy my books if you want to support my work. I prefer you buy my book. There's no greater compliment to an author than for people to buy his books. So my books are on Ancient Ibaryath, the language. So you're going to learn linguistic principles and concepts, and you're going to see what the scribes have done to us. You also see their tactics, their methodologies in the online course, 101 Ancient Ibaryath. But you'll also see it in the books. Islam to all the Moors. Shalom.